Listen, keep in mind this video, I am just a guy sitting nowhere near England, nowhere near London, nowhere near any of that. But I just want to say one thing, and it's I love the Premier League. I absolutely love the Premier League. It's my favorite thing to watch right now. And it's so fun to see, that these teams and these clubs that are smaller than the other teams that they're fighting around able to, really bring them, like Nottingham Forest in third and Bournemouth also in the top eight. It's so interesting and so fun to see that continue on week after week after week. But one team that is one team that is interesting to me the most, and it's not a small team, it is a big team, but it's Chelsea. And the Chelsea team right now is just so good. Like, almost to a point eventually where they are disrespectfully good for being so young, because the average age of this squad is like 24, I think 23.9 or something like that. And usually a super young squad, it'll either be from a recently promoted team or a team that is, mid-table, that is, bringing in a bunch of young players. But this is a top team. This is a traditionally top team that has changed their way of buying, I guess, and gone super young, almost football manager levels of young, to just throw cash at young players and teams that have young players and just bring them all in and see how it goes. And it's going well now. It started questionable, it started inconsistent, which is obviously expected with young players, but this season it has worked like a charm. This team, being the age that it is, I assume that people expected them to be, the team they were last year, but or the team they have been, which has not been a disappointing team. It's been a disappointing team, but not a bad team. But with the age, like I said, they're gonna keep growing. They're gonna keep getting better. They're gonna keep, growing year over year. So if they're able to keep this core together, this young team together, I could see them being a title winning level team in the next 2 to 3 years. Like, let me just read you off some of these names that and the ages that I didn't even realize this team was that young. Like, I knew, but like, Robert Sanchez is one of the oldest players on the team, and he's 27. Cucurella is 26. Levi Colwell, like their best center back, is 21. Malo Gusto is only 21. Wesley Fofana, who hasn't even gotten a chance because he's been injured most of it, is 24. Enzo, the big signing, 23. Mudrik's only 23. Cole Palmer's 22. Renato Vega is older than Romeo Lavia, 21 and 20. Pedro Neto's only 24. Madueke is 22. Like, it is youth all the way through this team. Mark Liu, who they just brought in, only 18. It is youth all through this team. And they are going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to get better until, late 20s. So this team is just going to continue to climb up that table and push, Liverpool and Man City, who have been dropping form. Crazy. They're lower than Chelsea right now, to get better and better. But obviously with that, it's going to be with the buying of, $1 billion worth of players and, bringing however many players they did, you're going to have people that are going to get upset, who want more playing time, or who are not going to get chances, and you're going to have your injury prones that's going to have to leave. And that's happening with, Christopher Nkunku, Dewsbury Hall, Reece James, Ben Chilwell. They're all on the verge of leaving, it seems, maybe in January, maybe at the end of the season, but they're all on the verge of wanting to get out of Chelsea, because Nkunku brought in to be, that leader of the line or, a great attacking option, and he just hasn't got that because, because Madueke has been solid and Cole Palmer's been super consistent, the best person on the team. Jackson has really upped his level this season. That Nkunku's been left out of the team that he was brought in to lead, basically. And again, and also with Dewsbury Hall, he was brought in. Obviously, you knew he wasn't going to be, first name on the team sheet, but he was brought in. I thought he was going to be a consistent option, but he's barely played this season. And Reece James, super injury prone, only 25, by the way, which is crazy considering how long he's been in the spotlight for this Chelsea team and how much he's meant to this Chelsea team, the leadership. It's so unfortunate what he's gone through and, the injuries that have set him back. I hope he gets back on track, and if he leaves, I hope he thrives. But, it just works out like that sometimes, which absolutely sucks. Ben Chilwell, I thought him and Reece James were going to be that left back, right back duo for, seasons to come, 4, 5, 6 seasons. And it just hasn't worked out like that, which is unfortunate, but, it's just how the game goes sometimes. But with the, how do I say this? The team is so great. It's gonna seem like I'm glazing crazy. The team is so good and so young and has so much potential that there's like two ways that I really see this not working for Chelsea. And that's one, if they keep doing what they've been doing and changing managers every season or two. And two, if multiple players start to get unhappy and they have to sell or run the contracts down of multiple of these young high potential players. Because, again, they've brought in over $1 billion of players. When you do that, and you bring in the amount of players that you have, you're going to have, there's only 20 spots with the starting 11 and the subs. There's only 20 spots. They have more than 20 players that are able to get into that starting 11. So eventually, as these players grow and as the team gets better, you're going to have, some of these players be unhappy with the game time. They're going to be unhappy with the, amount of appearances that they're making. And you're going to have to sell them, or hopefully you're able to figure out what's your best squad in the next few years to, really go around that and circumvent multiple players ready to leave, multiple players ready to run out their contracts. And also, with the manager, Chelsea have always been the team to chop and change managers every year or two if they're not the best team or if they're not one of the best teams. And right now, I think they have something going really well with Maresca. I hope they don't drop form, because if they do, then it could be the same situation that it's always been, which is the chop and change and bringing another manager, and then it's back to square one. Because if they can find that, if they can find that spot, if they can find that spot where they can, dig in their feet and take it to the Liverpools, take it to the Man Cities, and really push for that Premier League title, then there's no telling how much farther they can grow from there. But if the board keeps being impatient and having such a short leash with these managers, they're never gonna be able to grow, because it's always gonna be a new manager who has a new tactic, who wants new players, and it's never gonna work out the way that they want it to work out. But like I said again, this team is super young, super talented, and I genuinely think they have the most potential out of any Premier League team right now. But I hope that they make the right decisions. I hope the board makes the right decisions and is able to push this team to where they, can be, and be able to push this team to a point where they are competing for Champions League and competing for Premier Leagues season, bring season in and season out. But I mean, yeah, that's where I am right now.